For sure. So before I really get into the full sale, before you start doing play-by-play calling here, how many games did you call total before you got the full sale? If you can just guess it out.
Whew. I think with me being the play-by-play, so before Full Sail, I'm going to take a guess here. So it's probably like 10 for the one football season I did, and then probably so I'm probably around. I was probably sitting around 50,
Okay.
maybe give or take. 50 is my answer because I did 3 basketball seasons and then 1 football season. So that's probably around that range.
Lady. So you go from Ohio, you come down here to Florida, and we meet in psychology of play and creative presentation. Then month 4 hits. We go to intro to sportscasting. What was that feeling when you first got in that chair, week 4, and like you're calling the highlight of the game? Like, what was that feeling like when you?
Let me be honest.
Hell yeah!
It was like holy shit. My bad, and I don't. You can bleep that out.
I got you.
But it was like holy cow.
Like
It was so much nerves, and like I'm literally up there like because we never did this at UD. We never did this at Dayton, and you know I'm up there trying to do this baseball highlight because everybody else was doing either football or basketball. I just wanted to do baseball.
Football. Yeah.
So I wanted to do baseball, and my first take, it was awful. Like I don't even want to watch it ever again because it was that bad. But like that's the thing is like you go and you learn, and the second take, you know, I listened to the feedback from my professor Eric Rutledge. Shout out to Ruddy.
Hold on, right quick.
Guy.
Ruddy, you my mans. Every time I see you, we gotta dap up and make the good noise. And I'm gonna send this clip to you. Shout out to Ruddy, the man.
That's my guy. So he just came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you got to look at your shot sheet," and told me just take a deep breath, give me a little bit more energy. And then the second run, I feel like I did a good job.
Yeah, you did.
I did pretty well. And you know, calling the highlight, it was fun, but I was definitely nervous and a little shaky.
See, I think with most of us, including me, what we do is the first time we go on there, you cut the highlights, you get everything prepped, you get your sheets and all that for the game. But when you're looking at the highlights, you're not looking at the shot sheet at all. You're literally calling the highlight, looking at it on the monitor instead of looking at all the notes that you had, the play-by-play calling and all of that. It's just the nerves of the feeling. I remember my first time, I was, but we get through it.
Yeah.
But I know this program. I know you're pretty further along into the program. What classes stuck out to you that really made you like, I really needed that?
I really needed Mike Stinton's broadcast writing.
Let's talk about it.
Because I remember making my script for the intro to sportscasting. Now, Mr. Rutledge didn't tell us, what a proper he just let us rock.
Right, he just let us rock, right.
Because that's our first assignment. Like, he didn't want to put many restrictions on it. That'd be too much for students.
Right.
So, once I really got into Mr. Stinton's broadcast writing class, it was like, okay, that's how you write a script. That's how you be creative. That's how you tie in certain make bars and stuff like that, and add some flair to your writing, and also not write as much, right? You want to keep it concise. That's a big word in that class. So that one was big. I think Lee's class, Lee DeJarlis,
one man army.
I think he did a great job of just teaching us our equipment, and yeah, I think those two are the ones that really stand out to me because that was like entry level like sportscasting, real sportscasting, and preparing us for what we need. You know what I mean?
Right, because if you can't broadcast right, it's going to be very difficult for you in this industry if you can't write a precise script.
Right.
Let's get into the play-by-play calling aspect. What was the first game? No, matter of fact, how did you find out about like Full Sail in the games? Or like, how did you find out about calling games at Full Sail?
Well, I knew that they had play-by-play, and I wanted to start with probably basketball, which is what I did because I was gone. I was checking out my little brother's high school football season during like
I was
volleyball.
Hurt when you left, man.
During like volleyball season and soccer season, so I didn't get to do those games. But I knew that they had a seminar for those. So when they brought around the basketball seminar, I remember sitting in that seminar, and then they were doing like open tryouts, pretty much. and it was the Duke North Carolina game. I remember writing down notes.
Yeah,
You remember that? Yeah, we were in the studio, and they had it on this big monitor, and they had 2 chairs and 1 mic in the middle, and you got to have a color commentator. Well, for me, it was like the last opportunity for somebody to go up. Like he was like, "All right, this is our last one." Gus said that, and I'm naive, but I raise my hand and I get picked. And I remember Gus asking me like, "So what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Play by play." And then like right away when he asked, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Play by play." I'm doing play by play. Like I wasn't gonna let anybody else or my color commentating partner that stepped up to the tryout with me. I wasn't gonna let him do it. I'm play by play. So I step up there, and ultimately, it was the last couple minutes of that game, Duke North Carolina game. I think it was 2022 Final Four maybe.
I'm saying that because I don't want to guess wrong.
Yeah, Final Four. So that game, 2 minutes left, and it's just a free throw contest. Like there's no action. Like they're just getting fouled, and I'm like, oh no, this is a lot of dead air. So I had to just stay calm, peep my notes, and me and I think it was Spencer Collins who did the game with me, and we carried it well. We carried the broadcast well, and I got pretty excited when I think it was North Carolina who won. So that right there is when I think I showed that I could really do it. And then my first game was a women's basketball game. I can't remember who it was. It was Rollins and I think it was Barry. Yeah, Rollins and Barry. Yeah, Rollins and Barry women's. And then from then on, it was just boom. I was just getting games left and right.
And I went to a couple of your games and seen you do your thing out there. But I know when people do play-by-play calling, like people just assume that you do regular stats. So you got to have rebounds, points, and all of that. What are the other notes are you putting into your play-by-play calling when you're calling the games?
So for me, it just depends on the level that you're on. So obviously, high school, you kind of want to get like, okay, what kind of accolades do these people have? Have they made all first team conference? And that's a similar thing you do with college, but high school is more of, okay, this person's offered by this team. So just creating storylines, that's an underrated fact of play-by-play. You have to have a good storyline behind things because you're going to have dead air. And for me, I think at the college level, or we did the little JUCO shootout where you called a game. It was also the storylines of who these kids have offers from, or where is this kid from. I love looking at the hometown of where people are from because that can tell a story in itself. So that, obviously talking to coaches and getting some interesting stories. So I think just the storytelling aspect is something that goes beyond the points, the stats, the rebound, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think just storytelling is a huge aspect of play-by-play.
I completely agree. Storytelling, you got to be able to have some swag and tell a couple stories. What is a memorable call that you made, like in a game? Like I remember when you were talking about the college players and the jerseys, like they couldn't afford jerseys in college. What is a call that you made that was that just sticks out in your mind?
There's just been so many of them. I think that one of my favorite calls was...
Welcome to Snooty Podcast.